Coming up on today's special edition of LOAM, a recap of Sellout,
a new episode of Faces of LO,
and a look at the principal for a day. Stay tuned. Today is Saturday, February 9th, 2019. I'm Jenna Gaylord.
And I'm Teddy Hirschfield. Welcome to today's special telethon edition of LOAM. We're broadcasting live this morning from the Lake Orion High School television studio. Today's 6-hour telethon is all part of the ONTV Fish Food Drive. You can donate 5 non-perishable food items or $5 to help community members in need. How
can you donate? Well, there's 2 ways. Drive over to the ONTV studios at 1349 Joslyn Road to drop off your donations. While you're there, enter to win some amazing door prizes donated by Lake Orion business partners. The prizes range in value from $15 to over $400. The 5 or 5 food drive event runs until 4 p.m. today.
If you can't make it to the ONTV studios, donate directly to Fish Online. Visit www.oxfordorionfish.org and click on the PayPal button to donate via credit card. Every item and dollar counts to help those in need around our community. Take part in the ONTV 5 or 5 food drive right now.
Alex Hill tells us more on the ONTV Fish Partnership.
Oxford Orion Fish is a nonprofit organization that collects non-perishable food items for people in need in the Oxford, Lake Orion, Addison, and Oakland Township area. Located on Lapeer Road, just south of Drainer, every year in February, Fish works with ONTV to host a food drive for the community in correlation with their annual telethon.
About 6 years ago, they decided to do a live telethon, like it goes from 10 until 4, and people bring food and they donate it to us because they know we're a good cause. You know, there's a lot of hungry people in Oakland County, and we try to help them.
I had helped out at the Congregational Church different times, and our church, Thomas Methodist Church, gave the Thomas Hall to Fish for $1. And I was on the board at that time, and that's when I actually really came on board and started working full guns.
We supply food to people who are in need. They get to shop once a month. We have qualifications that they have to, live in a certain area. It's Oxford, Lake Orion, part of Oakland County, and Addison townships.
Well, Fish actually started in England. And if people needed help, they would put the fish emblem in their window, and that's how they would know that they needed food or whatever. How it got started here, I do not really know, other than years ago, it went on to the Thomas Hall, and that's when we started having our regular food pantry.
We're 45 years old, and now we're computerized, and we have this beautiful new pantry, and we've come a long way in 45 years. We're 100% volunteer staffed. All of our volunteers are local also. We're trying to, help our neighbors. That's our motto, is neighbors helping neighbors. We have everyone from a family of 1 to a family of 8, and they get, your poundage depends on the family size. One person gets 60 pounds, and then it kind of goes up there.
It's been absolutely a wonderful experience, and it's the best volunteer job I think anybody can ever have.
If anyone's interested in helping out, email us at oxfordorionfish@gmail.com or call us at 248-628-3933.
According to their 2018 year-end report, almost 5,000 individuals were served and over 180,000 pounds of food was dispersed. For WDBC, I'm Alex Hill.
LOHS hosted the annual Sellout event where students give up their phones for a day for a good cause. Delaney Rogers has a story.
On January 18th, Lake Orion's leadership class hosted the 5th annual Sellout for Soldiers. After leadership students turned in their own phones for the day, doors opened and students also turned in their phones. We caught up with a few leaders of the event to learn more.
So Sellout for Soldiers is where students at Lake Orion High School have the opportunity to give up their phone. Leadership donates $1 to every phone that is given up for the day. It's really good. It shows school spirit. We have like the news com and stuff, and then everyone's wearing their shirts, so then the community really shows that like we all really appreciate everyone.
In October, we started with promotion and fundraising, and then over the past couple months, we started working on logistics and the morning of. The morning started with setting up the registration table, so that was with the leadership and the Lead 9 class, so thank you to all of them for helping. And then we sorted the phones into shoe boxes in the auditorium lobby.
So I founded Cell Phones for Soldiers, which is the nonprofit that sell out benefits. And Cell Phones for Soldiers is a charity that recycles used cell phones and generates a profit to purchase prepaid calling cards. And we send the calling cards overseas so that our military members can call home for free. I'm so impressed. It was very well organized. I didn't know how they would be able to collect 2,000 phones in under 30 minutes. I'm very impressed by everything, and it's been a great organization, so happy to be here today.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Thank you, Delaney, for that report.
Next is our regular segment called Faces of LO. Today, we take a look at a particular senior who's passionate about photography and graphic design. His emphasis is on landscape, Lego photos, and car drawings.
I got into photography and graphic design when I took graphic design my sophomore year, and then I took photography, the first photography class my junior year, and then I really enjoyed them, and that's when I started to get into it. I took photography and graphic design because they sounded like fun classes. Computer art, drawing on the computer. I've always liked drawing, and then, to have the images come out nice and clean on the computer, that sounded like fun, and I'm glad I took it because I have a lot of fun with it.
Justin is an excellent student. I've had him in graphic design and in photography. He's super imaginative and really grasps how to use the programs on the computer really well. So he's a really excellent drawer, using the computer, and then also using his camera. He knows his camera settings and is really good in Photoshop.
When it comes to photography, I take a lot of scenery pictures and then still lifes as well, but mostly scenery. When I go on vacation and stuff, I have fun, taking pictures of mountains and trees and stuff like that. And then for the graphic design, when it comes to drawing, it's mostly cars. Just car drawings.
I would say one of my favorite things he's created he made a whole series of photographs based off of using toys and putting them in different situations. Like he has a Lego guy cleaning the camera lens or taking a picture or playing a video game. He's super imaginative. Even in graphic design, he created fabric using old TV show cars. He drew them all by hand and arranged them in a repeating pattern to create this really colorful, imaginative fabric. So I think he's really, his strong point is his imagination and then his grasp of the tools and the concepts in class.
I like drawing cars. I've always been into cars because my dad works in the auto industry, and cars have always been a big part of my life, and I've always had fun going to car shows and looking at old cars and stuff. I've always had an interest in them, and so that's why I like drawing them. I want to work in the auto industry in the future. I want to work and be around cars, like concept cars or something. I could draw concept cars. That could be fun, but I haven't decided entirely yet.
You know what they say, Teddy, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
That is true. WDBC staff partnered up with this year's Diversity and Equity Coordinator to touch students' hearts with the No Slur campaign. Take a look.
I am Indian, but I am not a trend. People make a lot of generalizations about me and my culture. They assume that I have to marry an Indian man or I have to wear a dot on my forehead, but that's not who I am. I am not traditional.
I am autistic, but I am strong, smart, I'm a member of NHS, and I'm going to college. I've been bullied for my autism in the past, but I have overcome it by making friends with adults and participating in events that have helped me benefit with other students with autism. including the summer transition program at Western Michigan University.
I am black, but I am not the N-word or lazy. As a black woman, identifying as a black woman, it's different than like what most people experience. Like when people see me, they think of me as, ooh, she's exotic, or they either think, ooh, she's ratchet, she's this, she's aggressive, she's that. But I am none of those things. I'm just like you. I'm still human. I have flesh and blood just like you. The only thing different about us is the color of my skin.
I'm a hijabi, but I was never forced to put it on. When I first started wearing it, a lot of people were shocked, and I was not like full-out bullying, but kind of like quietly bullied. Kind of a lot in the classes, they make a lot of racial jokes about it, and like I'd laugh it off, but like it wasn't funny to me. If someone puts on a hijab, it's not always because their family's forcing it to them to. It's their own choice. It's their big step in life. So you don't need to keep saying that type of stuff to them.
Thank you for that. That was very moving. One of our regular features here on LOAM is our staff profile. It lets us tell the story of the people who work at Lake Orion High School. On this edition of Staff Profile, we showcase the leadership class's co-advisor, Ms. Lori Hogan.
I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan, and I lived there my entire life. It's a beautiful spot. I spend my summers there as much as I can now. I graduated from high school in 1993, and then I went on to Alma College, where I was there for 4.5 years, getting a Bachelor of Arts in Secondary Education and History. So I did 4 years at Alma, and then I came back to Traverse City, and I got a teaching job at Traverse City West High School, which at the time was a brand new high school. I taught there for about 4.5 years, and then I came to Lake Orion, where I was hired to teach social studies in the social studies department by Mr. Abbasi. And I have been a teacher here at Lake Orion ever since, so I've been here 17 years.
She's from Traverse City. I'm from Lake Orion here, but we both started here teaching the same year. Our desks are next to each other in the social studies office. Her classroom's right across the hallway from mine now. And as far as a teacher, I would say probably 2 words, 3 syllables each, probably energy and organized. She's highly energetic and very organized and very good teacher.
My boyfriend at the time, who's now my husband, Jeff, was from Rochester. And so the day that I interviewed for Lake Orion High School, that morning, I also had an interview that same day at what was going to be a brand new high school called Stony Creek. But here's the funny part of the story. My high school that I taught at in Traverse City's colors were green and white. So I had a lot of green and white clothing. At that moment in my life, knowing nothing about the schools and the communities, I bled green and white. Well, I'm so thankful that I chose Lake Orion. I think it was for all of the right reasons. I mean, not just because I love green and white, but the culture here, the community here, the people here, you know, my colleagues that I work with in the social studies department and at Lake Orion High School. And it offered me the opportunity to put me in the place where I am right now with the student leadership and the student activities stuff.
In this building, Mrs. Hogan is not just there for me or for any one individual. If your path crosses hers in your time at the high school, she's not there for you just as a teacher, but as a person, as a friend, and as a mentor.
But I do, like, outside of school, I love to travel to tropical locations. I love to watch my son play baseball. I enjoy being on the lake. I enjoy being out on the boat and water skiing. I have 2 Labrador retrievers. I enjoy being with my dogs. It's just so neat to see different kids doing different cool things. And I just think it's so neat. People give teenagers such a bad rap. Oh, teenagers are disrespectful. Oh, teenagers are snotty. No, they're not. Teenagers are amazingly creative and wonderful kids, and you just got to give them the opportunity to be that.
Mrs. Hogan is a great teacher indeed. Lake Orion High School Principal Steve Hawley wanted to give students the chance to experience life as a building administrator. And at the same time, he wanted to spend time back in the classroom through the eyes of the student. And thus, the Principal for a Day was born in 2015. And just a few weeks ago, junior Kate Barker became the 4th Principal for a Day. Here's a look at her day as the leader of LOHS.
This year I am always very excited about
rushed.
Principal
Was it
for a
too
Day. It gives an opportunity for a student to take my role, but it also gives me a chance to get out to the building and spend some time in classrooms as a student.
Mr. Hawley and Kate Barker switched places for the day in this year's Principal for the Day.
Kate was an outstanding principal for a day. She really has a lot of qualities that lend themselves to great leadership. First of all, I learned that she is very well known around the school building. But she also is a student that works extremely hard at her academics and is somebody that other people trust and listen to.
I applied to switch with Mr. Hawley because I thought it would be really fun to see the behind the scenes of the school, and it was really cool to see.
The day started with a walk around the school and then switched into a couple of meetings. Kate then had 2 meetings with both Mr. Palmieri and Mr. Burden during second hour. As this happened, Mr. Hawley attended Kate's second hour class.
Being a student for the day really truly gives me a great perspective on what our students go through each and every day. And some of the things that I learned is that the school day can seem very long, and it's a challenge going from class to class and staying engaged in the classroom. These are things that I talk to our staff about, and we're continually thinking of ways to instruct and help students to be engaged throughout the day.
The 2 then went to multiple meetings throughout the second half of the day.
My favorite part was probably just like meeting different people in the office that I may not have gotten to know. It was cool to see how much they do on a daily basis, and how much Mr. Hawley actually does play a part in all the decision making.
We've always enjoyed Principal for the Day. I think it's a great opportunity for a student to really see what goes on behind the scenes at Lake Orion High School. And because of that, I think we will continue each year to give one student an opportunity.
For WDBC, I'm Tyler Battershell.
You are watching the ONTV 5 or 5 food drive benefiting Oxford Orion Fish. Our live telethon airs until 4 p.m. and you can drop off your donations to the ONTV studios. They're in the Orion Center on Joslin Road next to Orion Oaks Elementary. Drop off $5 or 5 food items and enter to win some amazing door prizes. Many local businesses donated prizes for today's event. You can see the list on your screen. Drop off your donations today to get your entry for cool door prizes.
Now it's time to head over to Mark with sports.
Coming up on today's LO Sports Report, we'll look at the volleyball team's state title, plus cheer and wrestling. Stay tuned. The biggest sports story of the year so far is the Volleyball State Championship. The girls raised the trophy in November. It's the team's first ever state title. Kevin McCormick was with the team to catch the action.
The Lady Dragons went to the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek for the state semifinals. They were ranked number 2 in the state, and they faced Farmington Hills Mercy, who were ranked number 1 in the state. The match started off even as both teams were tied 2-2 heading into the 5th and final set. The Lady Dragons end up winning the set 15-13.
Everyone is super excited and really hyped for tomorrow because we have the chance to win states now, so it's really exciting. We're looking forward to bring energy, and we just want to play our best, so we want to win.
After winning the semifinals, the Dragons moved on to the finals on Saturday to face Rockford. They won the first set 25-18 and then proceeded to win the second set 25-23. Paige Briggs had kills to end both sets. Rockford ended up taking the third set 25-23, but the Lady Dragons regrouped quickly and at 24-16, a spike from Paige Briggs ended the set and the match, giving the state championship to the Lady Dragons. We talked with some of the players and their head coach on how the weekend went.
It was unbelievable. We really had to focus because we were really into yesterday's game, and honestly some people didn't think we could do it, so it was game time and we had to focus. It was insane. I can't even describe it. I was just kind of holding my breath, and I was like, this is the moment that we've been preparing for the last 4 months of volleyball that we've been playing all led up to this moment. It was insane.
It was just talking about playing 5 points at a time. Let's win the first 5 points. Every start of every set, we talk about put it on them those first 5 points. Let them know what we're here to do. And it was no different after losing the third set. It was just regain it in the first 5 points. That's all.
Felt awesome. I mean, we all fell to the ground. It was super exciting. I'm just so happy. Oh, it was great. We knew that they were going to win a set, and we just had to go play hard and just play as a team, really.
Well, my stomach dropped a little. I was a little bit of disbelief because as good as I knew we could be, you never think we're going to win at all. I mean, that's just, obviously a goal to get here, but to actually do it, think about these 10 seniors and what they sacrificed over their careers being at Lake Orion, and how they were able to, it all culminated in a win for them. So I'm so proud of them.
For WDBC, I'm Kevin McCormick.
The Lake Orion Dragons wrestling team traveled to Romeo High School to take on Oxford Wildcats last Thursday. Kobe Manzo has the story.
Traveling to Romeo High School, the Dragon wrestling team competed in the team district meet, facing off against the Oxford Wildcats. Even with pins from seniors Hunter Chambers and Jaden Fisher, along with strong performances from other teammates, the well-rounded Oxford team proved to be too much for the Dragons, defeating them 50-18. A couple of today's top performers stopped to talk with me after the meet today, and what high expectations they have for the underclassmen below them.
As a team, how do you think you've improved over the course of this season?
Technically we've always been a solid team, but it's all about mental toughness, and I feel like over the span of the season we've kind of grown and we stuck in there and fight. One of the greats, Mark Schultz, once said, "I'm sorry if you perceive me as an element of danger. I'm only interested in winning, pinning, and scoring points." And I think that's what our teams come out to be. Is we may not win most of the matches, but we're always in there fighting, trying to win.
How important is it to set the bar high for some of these underclassmen?
I think it's really important to set the bar high. When the going gets tough, you just gotta work hard. You gotta get through it. Working hard, getting off bottom, getting to our feet, man, that's just all what it is. And I think if we work on that more as a team, we can just dominate.
Even though knocked out of the district team meet, the wrestlers will now travel to Clarkson High School, where they will compete in the individual meet. For WDBC, I'm Kobe Manzo.
The wrestling individual districts are going on right now at Clarkson High School. The varsity cheer team recently hosted the annual Dragon Invitational at LOHS. Callie Neese was in attendance to cover the action.
The Lake Orion varsity cheer team hosted an invitational cheer competition. The girls took on 7 other teams in their division in their very own Dragon's Den. Round 1, the ladies received a score of 232.3. Round 2, a score of 226.88. Round 3, score of 314.1, securing a respectable 3rd place for the Lady Dragons.
I think we did a really good job. We had a few mishaps, but it turned out really well for us.
I think we did really well all around. We got great scores and rounds, and we performed really well today.
3.28 is Lake Orion High School.
For WDBC, I'm Kelly Neese.
The varsity cheer is at their last regular season meet today at Oxford. And 1 week from today, they host the first round of the state playoffs. You can support the varsity team at 10 a.m. on Saturday next weekend. That's it for today's LO Sports Report. Keep it cool, LO. For WDBC, I'm Mark Studier.
Today's live telethon continues until 4 p.m. If you would like to donate directly to Fish, you can do so online via PayPal. Visit their webpage at www.oxfordorionfish.org and click on the PayPal button. Also on their website, you will find information about year-round drop-off locations and needed food items. Oxford Orient Fish is a nonprofit charitable organization.
That's all the time we have for today's special edition of LOAM. Stay tuned throughout the day as the ONTV Fish Telethon continues. Thank you for watching and have a great day.